Hello, everybody. Welcome to Planet Zoo. So this is my oldest franchise park. That's right. Yeah, you heard that. This is franchise. This is not sandbox. We have $9 billion. So it's a very successful zoo. This is the name of it. It's just my last name. Very creative, I know. Herman Zoological Park. Um, but I wanted to come in here and just take a quick look at this and see what it's all about and show it off here on YouTube. Full disclosure, I haven't been in Planet Zoo, playing Planet Zoo, since last year, specifically September of last year. Why? I don't know. I genuinely I don't have a reason for that. But we're gonna come in here and we're gonna look at this zoo and just try to see what's going on here, and maybe we'll try to figure out um, how we can make it a better zoo eventually. So we're coming down here at the road, and again we have the title screen where you saw this. I think, what are they called? Again, it's been a year since I've played Planet Zoo. What are you called? What are you called? A caretaker. Yeah. So where this caretaker came out of, this is a little backstage area. We'll go take a look at that here in a little bit. But I wanted to come in and just show off this zoo to show sort of the start of a series that I'm going to do of remaking this, revamping this. So I have a road like I do in almost every single park that I build or every single thing that I build. And the road is really just to, add realism and sort of give it some context of how people would be getting in here. And then we come in and we have a parking lot. So this parking lot here is all Jeeps because that's all we have in the game. Again, this is franchise. This is completely vanilla. Everything in here, I believe, is stuff that I have made. So nothing is off of the workshop. Everything is stuff that I've made. And I believe some of it is on the workshop. I'll have to go and double check. But you can see, right here we have the guest spawner. I try to cover it up with these little concrete pieces here. And what this is, this very high hedge, if we go through, this is actually the research center. So this is where we have, you can see our workshop up top, our research center, our quarantine, a vet, and a little staff center here. And I believe we can even just go right up the stairs here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, man, I really love the little staff buildings that they have in this game. I mean, look at that cute little cup. I love these staff centers. I'm really sad that in Planet Coaster 2, they won't have this same level of detail. Hopefully that gets updated at some point, if that gets patched. If you're watching this in the future and it did get patched, that's awesome. But I really hope that it does eventually here. Now, what this is, I don't know, actually. I don't remember. Was there supposed to be a door here? There was supposed to be a door here. So this is something that I usually like to do, is put the baby animals back here in the backstage. Because when you go to a zoo, sometimes yesterday, as of recording this, I went to Animal Kingdom, and they recently had a baby tiger, and the baby tiger is not out on at the front of the park yet, so you can't go and see this baby tiger, but they have him in the backstage. So that's something that I like to do typically when I am doing any sort of park in Planet Zoo, is put the baby animals, though it looks like some of these have grown up here But that's fine. I'll address that later on once we get this series started here. But let's go look at the actual zoo. So if you were to come in, you would park in here in this parking lot. Obviously, we have to have handicap parking here. And geez, I can't remember what happened a year ago when this was being built. So we have another guest entrance here of people that can come on the bus. This is a very nice bus station. And then we have the little fountain here. And I remember this specifically. I was very proud of the entrance, the car park, and this little fountain. I love the Fox coffee that they have where I live in Orlando. There's a place called Foxtail Coffee. Oh, these are nice. These aren't base game. These are someone's. I'll try to find a link and send. I'll try to include it in the video of whose these are. These are nice, and I do remember now that I use these all over the place. So almost everything is my creation. I think there are some things that are not, but again, we'll see those later. So you would come in and you have your little ticket booth here. Very rudimentary for the stuff that I know that I can build now. So again, we'll come back through and redo that. And any good zoo should have education right up front, right when you start. And again, because it is a franchise zoo, we are going to have to deal with the day-night cycle and the weather, but that's okay. I actually prefer the franchise zoo over, say, a sandbox park. I think it's a little bit more realistic. You're kind of beholden to some limitations, and those limitations, drop your frame rate, apparently. Those limitations, I think, are when you are your most creative, and, you're sort of trying to make things fit and make things work. I really like this. That's why I'm looking at it. But this is the little main court here, and, oh yeah, this was before they updated with souvenir shops. So this is completely fake. This is completely fake aside from these vendors here. None of this is actually a real souvenir shop. So that is something that we'll have to come back through and add. Maybe we'll redo this entire building, just up front to see. Yeah, because there's actual pathing underneath this. And then we have the food here. And I think, if I remember correctly, yeah, there's a restaurant back here. Whoa, there's a restaurant back here. And this is, oh boy, where am I going? Where am I going? Here we go. Yeah, there's a little restaurant back there. I think I made this right after they came out with the restaurants for this game. But again, no souvenir shops. So we're gonna come on through. Can I bump this up? How do I bump this up? Ah, there we go. There we go. So now we're above the heads of the people. And so you can come on down, and we have our wonderful little African penguins here. I do remember this. Oh my god, there are so many of them. There are so many of them. Yeah, we'll have to readdress this. But I do remember these. These are one of my better things that I have ever made. And it's these little educational platforms. So you come on through and you clip through the roof. Can I get off of here? No? Okay. That's fine. Let me go back here. Yeah, so you have these little educational platforms, and they have, those same signs. I'll try to link to these. These are phenomenal. I forget where they're coming from right now, but Yeah, so these are awesome. These are just really simple, just covered so that the guests can sit here and you can see it's raining right here. It's not raining underside. That's one thing that I really love from Planet Zoo is that there's sort of collision with the weather. I wish that Prehistoric Kingdom had that right now. It doesn't. But I hear that it hopefully will eventually when the game is in full release. So you can come down here, and this is a little underwater section. Again, not my finest work, but you can see the African penguins. Ah, man, I just love them. Coming in here to swim and eat from the fish dispenser there. You can come back up and see a blank empty field. So this was clearly somewhere that what did I have here? Was it red the red hogs, the African red wild hogs, whatever they're called? I think that's what was there, but anyway, it's not there now. So you can come over here to, and oh yeah, they had just added this. I remember this was one of the last things that I did here in this zoo, was these tunnels that guests can actually walk through and see sort of a in-ground view of these meerkats that we have here. So meerkats are a great little animal to have right at the front of your park. They are what's known as a proud species, so they're not super susceptible to guests being loud and rowdy and being scared of that. So meerkats are a great little animal to have there. And then we have, I do remember this, the elephants. This was another thing that I was very proud of building at the time. And I actually have this in Prehistoric Kingdom 2, a similar version for the Chimerasaurus, the big sauropod. So the guests can actually walk through at sort of a ground level, quote unquote. And these animals and the keepers can pass right over, sort of like how they try to do the Passovers for the highways, the wildlife Passovers. Yeah, this is awesome. This was a good one. I tried to add in, just a small little education area here for people to learn about the elephants. I believe we're gonna redo like 90% of this, but that is okay because again, always go back through and try to redo all the stuff that you did. Take a second look at it, because you'll never be able to. You'll always look at it a little differently and realize that there are things that you could have done better. So we have here, again, coming along this path, the Aldabra's giant tortoise. And I believe this is the second largest tortoise in the entire world. They're only found off of the coast of Africa, a very small island called Aldabra, where they are from. And I love these guys. These guys are a staple in almost every zoo that I have built. But now that we have the sulcata tortoise in the game, shout out to Tiptoe, if anybody knows him on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. Tiptoe the tortoise is a sulcata tortoise. They have him now in the game because of the last DLC. So we might come through and actually replace the Aldabras with the sulcata, or maybe we'll keep them together. Who knows? So then, yeah, this was an area that I intended to get to as well, sort of just the edge of the map that I never really detailed. One of the downsides, again, of Planet Zoo, if you've been playing or you're familiar with the game, one of the downsides is that there's no scenery brush. So there's one in Prehistoric Kingdom, there's one in Planet Coaster 2 now, but there is none. There's no scenery brush in this game, and it's really unfortunate because it means that you have to go through and place every single plant here individually. Oh, look at the baby lions. Look at the baby lions. They're so cute. Okay, yes. Ah, yeah. Now I remember. So this is the lion exhibit that we are currently standing in. There's our leucistic lion, our white lion that we have there. He's the big alpha male of the pride, and you can hear them. They're awesome. But this was sort of my foray into backstage areas. So this is a very basic version. Again, this is stuff that we're going to go back through and redo, and looking at it now, part of me thinks, what was I thinking when I created this? Of it's not that great, but also part of me looking at it was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought that it was. If we leave the lions and now walk back towards where the Aldabra's tortoise were, this I do know is up on the workshop. This is a little restaurant that I made. This was a very proud build that I had called the Aldabra Cafe, themed around a sort of Moroccan theme, a Moroccan North African theme. Ooh, I like the waterfall inside. This is nice. This is way nicer than I thought than it was gonna be, than I remember. But yeah, this is on the workshop right now. I'll put the link in the description, and you can actually go and download this right now. And it's just this. It's just a little restaurant that you can use. Again, I don't know that the actual island of Aldabra is desert. It's not North African. But I like this vibe and I like the name, so we're going with it. Classic Planet Zoo, if anybody knows the elephant grass here, all the guests staring through the elephant grass because they have visibility through there, but you can't actually pass through the elephant grass, or the guests can't, which is perfectly fine. Oh yes, I do remember this now. Oh, my frame rate. Oh, there's so many guests here, but that's okay, because that's what we want. Yeah, I do remember this. So this was my quote-unquote safari area. This is when I really started to, I guess you could say, get better at building here. So again, we have the little education gazebos that I built, and my absolute favorite animal in the entire world, which is the white rhinoceros. And there is even a little baby rhino here. Oh, I just love them. They're so great. So yeah, the idea with this was you would come through this area, through the entrance, which is over where that first blank field was, and you would come through and you'd be able to sort of meander through these habitats and see the animals a little bit more up close. Thank you for that. And of course we have the don't feed the animal signs. You should never feed the animals in the zoos. And yeah, we have the little passovers that I made. I remember that was a sort of key feature of this part. We have, I believe this is the blue wildebeest over here in this section, and a burrow that the blue wildebeest cannot be. So is that for aardvark? Porcupine? What was that? Can I click on you? Black wildebeest. Black wildebeest. Yeah, so we have the black wildebeest. Oh, and we have the little African porcupine. So I think about a year ago, that was the animal that came out at the time. Oh, little baby porcupine, so cute. Yeah, I think these were the sort of new animals on the scene when I built this section. I always tried to incorporate the new animals when I could into these new sections. And then we have, of course, the Plains zebra over here. Very classic. Came out with the completely vanilla 1.0 Planet Zoo. You know, you can't have a zoo without zebras or rhinos or elephants or lions. And I believe this is scimitar. Yeah, scimitar horned aurochs here. Again, this was my sort of foray into the backstage areas. So you can see it is very bare. But you can start to see here where if you watched my previous Prehistoric Kingdom episode where we built the backstage area in the entrance, this is the same sort of design here. So these are quote unquote functional. So you can technically come through here. Maybe it's a little less functional in Planet Zoo, but you could come through here, and then oh boy, I do not remember any of the controls. Okay, X, yeah. So you can come through here, and you can actually close that, and now you can actually close off animals if you need to for whatever reason. Yeah, super great, but we're gonna come through and redo all of this. Oh, there's the backstage area. So we'll go to this. Since I said that we would at the beginning of the episode. So these little backstage areas, again, sort of the first time that I was ever trying to build anything like this. And it's plain, but it gets the job done. It hides these areas away from the guests. And I do remember that I really liked this little, what is this called? Trade center, a little trade center where, you know, you would imagine a big truck would pull through and back in, and maybe they'd have an animal in there or something like that. The idea would be that you could open these up and pull a truck around for any of the areas that those animals would go. So if we come through here, yeah, we have our African penguin. I think, I could be wrong, but I think this whole area used to be a fennec fox house. So this park has gone through many iterations. I said right at the top of the video that this is one of my oldest parks. I think this dates back to, 2021, 2022. And it's 2004 right now if you're watching it when it comes out, or if you're watching it in the future, it's right now 2024. So this park is almost 2 or 3 years old, and I do not know how old it is, but this has gone through iteration after iteration and is my oldest park. And again, I haven't played Planet Zoo in about a year, so I am seeing this with almost as fresh eyes as you all are. Ooh, we have this little backstage area here. This is nice. This is nice. I like this. Is this a real fence? No, this is the oceanic fences. What is in here? Oh, we have little kangaroos, or these wallabies. Yeah, wallabies. Yeah, so this is the African section. See, I thought that this was a Asian section, because I thought I remembered having African elephants and Indian elephants butted up against each other with their exhibits. I think I must have redone that. So yeah, so we have this little walkthrough exhibit here with our wallabies. I believe this is off the workshop too. I will try to find a link for that and put it in there. But we have this nice little area where guests can come through and they can interact with the wallabies. If you've never been in a zoo that you can interact, is this a quokka? It is a quokka. I love the quokka. Another great Australian animal here. Again, this is all in franchise mode. So we started this with $9 billion. Now we're over $10 billion. It's okay. We're making a ton of money here in this park. So we can afford to refresh and revamp. Oh yeah, this is where I was gonna come through and redo stuff. What is that? Delete. I don't know why that was out all that way. That little fireball hose. What is this? Koala house. Ooh, I don't remember this. Ooh, okay, so it's a dark house. Okay. Nice, I love the little keeper stands with the music. Yeah, so it's a little dark house, and there's the koalas. You can see them in there. Click on the entire building because there's glass in the way. And then what is this? The kiwi. Ooh, yeah, the kiwi. Oh, there he is. Nice. Again, very bare bones, very basic. We can do a lot better now, but this is a good starting place for a future, we'll call it master plan of this zoo, and try to figure out what we want to do here in the long run. Let's see, do we have another exhibit around here? We do. Where are you, the cassowary? Yes. Man. I'm excited for the ray tracing in Planet Coaster 2. Planet Zoo always looked good to me with these sort of sunsets here, but I'm really excited for the franchise mode of Planet Coaster 2 just to see how different it is. Yeah, this is the cassowary. So I love cassowaries. My home zoo growing up was the Jacksonville Zoo in Jacksonville, Florida. If anybody out there has been there or knows that, I actually volunteered there during the summer as a kid one time, and we got to clean out the cassowary enclosure, which was a lot more fun than it sounds to clean out a cassowary enclosure. But I remember we got to go backstage and see where they kept them. Again, no backstage area here. We'll redo this entirely. But yeah, when I was a kid and we got to see the cassowaries at the Jacksonville Zoo in their backstage areas, that was phenomenal. You know, my first video here was a prehistoric kingdom, and I love dinosaurs, obviously. Cassowaries are basically real life living dinosaurs today. Yeah, so coming over here, we have the dingoes. Love the dingoes. They are super cute as well. This is, again, I think where I started to try to make better backstage areas. Yep. It's almost copy and paste from the lions. We'll, again, redo all of this now that we have better techniques and can make some better stuff. But this is not a bad place to start, I don't think. So we'll come down here, and I did see a herpetarium or a reptile house. I'll need to change that. You can see how repetitive that feels. And honestly, I might just leave it, but you know, it does feel a little repetitive. I wish there was a scenery brush. There isn't, but it's okay. Yep, and there's our main building there. We can pop the balloons. Always pop the balloons. There's our main entrance down there, and the idea was that you could sort of cut straight through and come back here to the herpetarium. I do remember this. This took the most amount of time to build out of anything in this park, because this is where I really started to develop my skills and hone the building tools and the building mechanics here. And we have this this little fountain, and I think this is periwinkle in the game, but you almost always have to put this over top of the water because it looks like duckweed or sylvinia, and it just makes it sells it and makes it look incredible. Yeah, they're taking pictures there. So if you don't know about Planet Zoo, one of the things that you can do is place these little vista points, and guests will go and look at whatever you want them to look at and take pictures of it. So that's always a fun one. But yeah, we'll come in here to the herpetarium, and I do remember this was one of my best builds that I had ever built. Yep, so we're using this here, and I think this was left open because the pathing in this game is horrible, but it is okay because you can make do with what you have. And we have the tropics, the divine desert, and aqua adventure. Okay, let's go to the tropics first and see what's here. We'll duck down under this door, pop back up. Not that we need to, just because. And we have a little exhibit here. What's in here? What are you? Click on you. I go into the exhibit and click on you. What are you? Asian water monitor. Ooh, I do remember this. So I remember in the beginning of Planet Zoo, when the game was first released, they had the Nile water monitor, I believe, but then they added the Asian water monitor, and everybody lost their minds. They were like, half of the people were like, oh, we already have a water monitor, why do we need another one? The other half of the people were like, yeah, we finally have the Asian water monitor. Kind of reminds me of what's going on right now with the anniversary animal that they just released, the African leopard. Some people are saying that it's just the Amur leopard, just reskinned. Other people are super excited for it. Personally, I'm always excited for any new animal that comes in the game. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it's a reskin. I love all of them. All right, so we're in the tropics area here now. And yeah, this was one of my more detailed areas that I had ever built at this point. And I believe this tried to be, at the time, again, a year ago, 2 years ago, this tried to be every single exhibit animal in the game. I don't know if I achieved that. I don't think I could. I think this was left blank because of the pathing. Again, the pathing gets weird sometimes, but I tried to make it symmetrical and come through. What are you? What are you? Anaconda? Yellow anaconda? Yeah, yellow anaconda here. Yeah, coming through. Again, these exhibits, these are all stock. They're not really created any differently than anybody else. But now we have techniques from people like Leaf and ZSH Plays. It's a mouthful. But we have techniques from them, and we can sort of make better exhibits now. So I might come back through and redo this one. Maybe this is sort of left as a sense of the past of what was here before. This is the desert area. I do remember that I really liked this. This was always my favorite area. I love these deserty sort of areas with all of the dry foliage and everything. Big blank wall where we can put something, and an empty habitat. Was there something here? I don't think there was. Interesting. I think I tried to leave room here just in case there were any more exhibit animals that could have come in here. And then we have the wetlands, or I think I called it aqua adventure or something. But we have the wetlands here and tried to have a little pond. Again, we can do that better now. But this is a good little look at what this area used to be here. And we'll leave here and see what else we got here. We have the Aldabra tortoise over there. Maintenance shed that's breaking down. Let me run around here and see. I don't think there's anything. All right, so let's actually zoom out and see the whole park. All right, so you can see the whole park here. Yeah, oh wow. They really redid this and made that feel nice. I forget the backstory of this place. I forget where in the world this is sort of located. But this is, again, my oldest franchise park that I ever built. Oh, we have the bus parking all the way in the back. So the buses would drop people off here up at the front. and then pull around, and they would go on the back. You know, if you were a kid going on a field trip, your bus would drop you off at the front and pull around to the back. Because I know more now about how that sort of is supposed to work in the real world, we might actually change that around and change the dingo area to be an education complex. So we'll make that an area where, say, school buses drop the kids back here, they load the kids back here, and the kids really only stay in this area with those sort of ambassador animals that they can touch and feel and play with. And then they might take short excursions out to the rest of the larger park. But yeah, this was Herman Zoological Park, and this was my oldest park, again, about 2-3 years old. Let me know what you would like to see here in this park being done. We'll have to address the research center with the baby animals. There's a lot to address, but let me know in the comments what you want me to address here, what you want to see, what animals would you like to see here. One of the cool things I do remember about this was that the entrance was pretty far back. So in Planet Zoo, you know, the spotted protester, that's always fun. Anyway, in franchise mode, the entrances and the guest spawners are always right up at the front. And I remember because of one of the updates 2-3 years ago, it kicked the guest spawner and the entrance into the park because they actually expanded the size that the maps were when they redid these pieces behind the maps. And so when it did that, it kicked it behind here, and I was able to, from that point on, move them around and, you know, get it to the state that it is today. But that's, again, a story for another time. Let me know what you would like to see here for this park, what animals you would like to see, what sections you would like to see. Do you want it to still be African on one side and then something else on another side? You know, let me know. Let me know what you would like to see. And we're going to wrap it up here. We're going to end it. And I want to thank you for watching. There's a million things you could have been doing today, and you chose to spend it here with me for a little tiny tour of my oldest zoo. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.